Hey guys, Chris Duncan here. I'm so excited to be on this live stream and good to see so many of you on here with me. It's great to be here. Let's just see if I can get this back a bit. There we go. Who's on? Say hi if you're on. I thought I'd jump on a couple minutes early and just say thank you so much for all your support and subscribing to this channel and everything else. It feels so good. In fact, as I speak right now, I'm only 15 people away from 5,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button because I'd love to hit 5,000 subscribers. It would feel really good. I'll take those off. It feels like there's some glare on that. Today, I want to talk about something called psychological tension versus creative tension, and it's very important to understand these two different tension structures and how they can play out when you're creating, when you want to manifest. So I'm excited to share that with you. So look, we've got a lot of ways that we can help you. In today's world, it is very important to understand how to have emotional mastery and how to be a conscious creator, really. It's very, very important to realize there's a predictable system to consciously create whatever it is that you desire. And part of that is what I'm going to be talking about today. But look, if you're not in our masterclass or our certification, if you haven't had a recode session yet, I'll drop a link after this video where you can find out more about that, because the super conscious work that we do is revolutionary. Combining that with what I'm going to talk about today, principles of conscious creation and alchemy, we really have a system to help you manifest fast. And to put that in a little bit of a perspective, just so that you go, oh, is Chris actually doing this? Hey, Brad. Hey, Carol. Nice to see you. One way that's very easy for me to show that we know how this works is, nice, Eduardo. Good to see you, man. It'd be good to have you in there. Is to understand and see creation happening. And so, Carol, who's on here, she's watched creation happen, watch us go from basically just starting out in this new work to tens of thousands of people in our programs and millions of people out there viewing and watching our stuff by holding the tension. And a lot of people get misguided by this word tension because in the world, we've been told that tension is a bad thing. I can't have tension. Tension is something I want to avoid. I don't want to feel tension in my life. I don't want to be tense. I don't like it. But the truth is that tension is a very important tool to use. Very, 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 very important tool to use. But there's two different types of tension playing out on a human. The first type is the type we don't like. This is called psychological tension. Okay. And what happens is psychological tension is there to keep you the same and pull you back. Okay, it's a safety mechanism. So it's as you're moving towards something, there is wounding that's created from an early age that pulls on us. Oh, you're not good enough to have that, or you need to work harder, or you need to do this, you need to be better, you need to improve yourself. Don't do that, they'll reject you. There's a psychological tension. And it's important that we have this psychological tension. It orientates us to the world. It lets us know who we are and how we operate. The other type of tension is creative tension. Okay, creative tension. And creative tension is when you're just focusing on what you want and not worrying about what it means to you personally. I have a statement: success isn't personal, and a lot of people get confused with that statement. And what I mean is the difference between psychological tension and a creative tension. So someone that's in a psychological tension world, they're going to create in a very, very, very restricted and I don't want to lose way. Because to them, failing, being rejected, losing, showing up not good enough, showing up they can't do something is very painful, because the nature of what they're trying to create is only designed to resolve a way they feel incomplete. What they're creating is only there to resolve psychological tension about how they feel incomplete about themselves. For example, they want to make a lot of money to feel safe. They want to create a big audience for fame so that people look up to them. They want a relationship to feel loved, you see. So that there's all this psychological tension that basically says they can't have that by themselves, you see. They can't just have the love. They must have someone else to have the love. They can't just feel like they are good enough. They have to have a huge following to feel it. This is psychological tension. So a lot of people, they don't feel safe. So they're going to make sure they have a job or do the right thing or don't get judged, you see. Most of the world is actually living in this psychological tension where they're only doing things to resolve ways they feel incomplete. That's it. They're just doing stuff to resolve how they feel incomplete. And it's very interesting. So the first thing that we got to do is hear this from me. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You're whole. You're perfect. I love you. You love you. You're perfect. This idea in the personal development world that we've got to fix ourselves or look over our past history actually just creates more psychological tension. This idea that there's something that needs to be fixed. I got to fix my diet. I got to know this. I got to do that. I got to be, got to think a certain way. And the truth is, you just got to let all that go. And this is one of the things that we teach. But today, I just want to share. You got to be able to let that go. You got to be here now. You got to love you now. You got to have it all now. Give me a thumbs up if you get that, or just type in the chat box. You got to have it now. See, anytime you're trying to resolve, fix, improve, develop yourself, you're actually in a place where you're in the psychological tension is winning. See, it's pulled on you, said you're not good enough, you think the wrong way, you feel this, you need that, you got to change, and it pulls on you. Does this make sense? And then when you act on that, you just reinforce that the psychological tension is stronger, you see. And so sometimes when I work with people, they say, Chris, can you do the superconscious recode? Can you do the magic? And sometimes I say no, because right now, if I do that, we're standing in a reality of you need to fix yourself, which is really saying you can't handle it, you see. There's this brilliant book out called Anti-Fragile, and it's the opposite of fragile. Fragile is somebody that breaks under pressure, breaks under external things. Anti-fragile is what a human actually is. Human grows from mistakes. Human grows from pressure. Human grows from experience, you see. The fragile view of the world is psychological tension-seeking resolution. It's like this world of, you're so fragile, you can't bounce back from going after something. You're so fragile, play it safe, hedge your bets. All of this, play it small, clip your ticket, all of this. And it's fragile, and it's based under this premise that you're not strong, you're not powerful. And so that's one world. And psychological tension, if you feed it, it will get so strong that it's so difficult to come out of it. Now let's talk about this other type of tension, creative tension. Creative tension is when you're creating something for the sake of creating it, just because you love it. So you're creating a beautiful marriage because you'd love that. Not to get love. You're creating it because you will love that relationship. You're creating more money because you love having abundance, not because you need the money to prove to others or that just because you love it. When you're in creative tension, you're building a big audience because you just love to share your message. You just love to do it. You're just in flow. You just enjoy. It's just lights you up. You're doing your art for no reason other than you enjoy the process of doing the art. Does this make sense? You're creating a healthy, happy family because you love to see that, not because it makes you a better person in society because you're a better parent, whatever it is, you're just doing it. That is the creative structure. And it's very different. Can you even feel the difference as I talk about this one, the creative structure versus the the psychological problem solving, fragile mentality. Very different worlds. Now, what's interesting about being in creative tension is there's risk. There's risk to the psychological tension. And the risk is as you're creating something you love, it takes time. You might stumble. You might have to learn some things. It might take a while to get mastery. So I want to build a big audience, right? Well, you got to learn how to do videos. You got to learn how to get a good message. You got to build it. It's going to take time. And at times it might not look like it's working. See, if you're not just creating it because you love it, if you're trying to create it to try to resolve a way that, validate yourself or feel good, as you're moving in this creative structure, it's going to feel really terrible. Oh my God, no one shared my video. Holy crap, I look bad on video, or whatever it is. And that psychological tension will pull you over here. Give me a yes how you can see this. Just type in yes. Do you guys see this? It's like a internal civil war. Until you put down the psychological tension of I need to fix myself in order to have something, or if I get something, then I'll be better. Until you drop that, until you put that down, it will always plague, it will always get involved in all of your creations, and it will stop your manifestations. And the problem with the things like The Secret and all these things is they actually come from a place of, if I have that, I'll fix myself. If I have that, life will be better, you see. And all of that, unfortunately, is in a fragile worldview that says I can't have it. It's in a psychological tension. It's a structure. I've got to fix myself. I'm intense with that. And the word intention, intense. I'm intent, tension, like a rubber band. Intention seeks resolution. Now, when you shift into creative tension, okay, this is the most important shift. You're just creating it because you love it. You're not going to change. You see, you're not going to change. You're just going to be you. It's one of the things that I love is when I sat down with billionaires and really successful people. They were just normal people. They didn't change all of a sudden. You see, the old worldview, if I had $1 million, then I'd be different. This last month, one of my new products did $500,000 in a month. Just incredible. But I'm the same, and that's just one of quite a few products doing really well, actually. But I'm the same. It doesn't change me. Going from single to married didn't change me. Going from no one knows me on the internet to, it's 1.8 million people have seen my demonstration. It didn't change me because I was already in a creative tension, already happy and now. Same with the fact that every day I have to delete up to sometimes 60 trolls, 60 people every day saying, you're rubbish, you're crap, you're ripping people off, you're a scam, all these crazy things. None of that affects me because I'm not in a psychological trying to do something in order to resolve a way that I feel incomplete. See, that's the key. The key to know whether you're in a psychological tension or a creative tension is the intent behind what you're creating. You see, if you say, I want a business because then I will ... You're not in a creative tension. You're using that as the vehicle to resolve something that is incomplete right now. You see, what is so crucial, and you had a lot love you too, Carol. What is so crucial is bringing your power back. See, you bring your power back and you say, I got it all now. There's nothing more important than the now. Now stands for no opportunity wasted. Now is better than anything in the future. And a lot of us are lifting weights right now because it is difficult to be happy about the now when the world is in a big shift. But we must be happy about the now no matter what, because it's the only now we've got. And we've got to practice now. See, if you can overcome circumstances now and be happy and grateful and feel abundant now, well, guess what? You're set up for the rest of your life. This is the most important opportunity any of us have ever had to practice overcoming the moment. True, is to allow ourselves to be happy, to be grateful in the now, and still in a creative tension to seek to create. You see, this is such a different view. Do you follow it? It's a different view. The old view, there's something wrong. Now's not good. If I have this, then it will be better. The new view is now is freaking amazing. I love it. There's nothing better than now. Now is, and I'm still creating. I still like to create because life is action oriented. You're always creating no matter what. Some people think that, well, I'll stop. There's no way to stop. There's no such thing as inaction. Even inaction called resting or procrastinating, it's still an action. Therefore, we're always creating. We're always unfolding. We're always moving forward. Time doesn't stop. It's moving. So we're always in some sort of creative structure. The question I have for you today is, are you in psychological tension, only creating things to resolve ways you feel incomplete? And for most of us, the answer is going to be, yeah, Chris, I am. I create relationship, so I feel connection. I create job, so I feel safe. I create this, so I get this. I create this, so I can have this. And it's all the power. Where is the power? It's put outside of you. I'm going to create money so I feel freedom. I'm going to create this so I can have this. I'm going to create this so I can have this. I'm going to please my wife so I can have this. I'm going to please my husband for this. I'm going to go to the gym so I can have this. All of this outside thing has the power. See, when those things are taken away, well, guess what happens? We realize it's just us. You see someone that put all of their power into money. Oh, if I have lots of money, I feel good. If I don't have money, I feel bad. You see, they've got no power. They're powerless. That person's in a psychological orientation where they've given their power away. And, Rage Against the Machine said it best. Got to take the power back. We've got to take the power back. We've got to say, no matter what's happening on the outside, I choose to feel good. I choose to feel whatever I feel grateful. I choose to feel love, even though I have no relationship. I choose to feel abundance, even though I don't have the type of money that I want. I choose to have it no matter what I choose because I'm powerful. And once you get into this orientation, you'll realize that a lot of the things you thought you're going for don't matter so much. They don't matter so much. And when they don't matter so much, you can just go for them without this risk of losing yourself if they go wrong. See, a lot of people, they're so freaked out if they were to lose some money because they've attached their safety to the money. See, if you've attached money gives me safety, or money gives me abundance, or money gives me freedom, when it drops, guess what? You drop. If you've said, I have it all and I want that because it's a cool thing that I want, well, that's a completely different reality. I got a rule. If I have to give myself more than one reason why I want something, I'm just trying to convince myself I want it. If I have to give myself more than one reason, right? I don't have to give myself more than one reason to have a loving relationship. I don't have to give myself more than one reason why I want to get out there and share this message. I don't have to give myself more than one reason why I want to have 1,000 certified coaches out there changing the world. I don't have to give myself more than one reason. And if I do, I realize, hey, I'm trying to convince myself that I want this. I'm trying to convince myself. I think that it's going to give me something else. You see, so there's two tensions pulling on you, and whichever one you allow to resolve itself will define your future. See, if you allow the I'm not good enough, I need to do things to prove that I'm good enough tension resolve, guess what's going to happen? You'll continue to orientate to the world of not being good enough. If you have the I'm not worthy tension, if I do that, I will be worthy. If I have this amazing body, then he will love me or she will love me. If I make more money, then my dad will recognize me. If you stay in that structure, if you resolve that tension becomes ingrained in you to resolve that. And what happens is it becomes you. And so there's only one way out, and it's through the wizard's gate. Type it in if you like. It's through the wizard's gate. The only way out of psychological tension, problem orientation, fragility, victim to circumstances, powerlessness, and into powerful creator, doing what they love, easy, quick, fast manifestation, universal principles. The only way is through the wizard's gate, stepping through the wizard's gate. The wizard's gate moves you into a place of no resistance and no desire. No resistance and no desire. And the wizard's gate says this: there is nothing better than now. And now. And now. And now. There's nothing better. And there's nothing better than now. Now is the best. There's nothing better. I'm going to love the moment. Once you've entered through the wizard's gate, you get into the magnetic moment when you're not resisting any circumstances or conditions, and when you're not desiring to change circumstances or conditions, when you're there and there's nothing better than the now. This is level 1, by the way. When we work in our masterclass, level 1 is just to get people through the wizard's gate and just feel good about now. 100%, no matter what's going on, no matter they get a divorce, their kid does some bad things, money goes up or down, they're just good. And here's what's really, really exciting. A lot of us realize that we were actually a slave to success, a slave to achievement. See, for me, I never thought, I can handle failure. But the thing that got me was when I got success. Yes, felt so good. Make $1 million. Yes. And I realized that in that moment, I was actually projecting that not having this was worse. And I was in this whole structure: success, good; failure, bad. Complete structure. And so we use a process called the double bubble to really knock people in and to move through, and the superconscious recode. And when you get through, you crack open the universe and you step into this beautiful place where you have no resistance. You're not resisting anything. Your weight on your body, the money in your bank account, the president, the economic situation, the everything, whatever it is. But you're not desiring anything either. You're not saying, well, if we change this, or if this person was elected, or if I had more money, you're not in anything, and you just get there. Once there, when you truly allow yourself to know that the now is better than the future, that's when you can finally create. That is when you can go, well, what would I love? Oh, I'd love that. Cool. And you get an attention-seeking resolution structure. I'd like that. That's what I would like. Oh, I'd like that. I'd like that. I'd like that. I'd like that. And then you get to be in a different structure, but you're not in a place that I would like that and it will make me better. Hey guys, I've got a few more things that I want to share on this, but if you're loving it, can you hit the share button, share this out on Facebook or just on your YouTube, or give it a thumbs up. I'm 15 people away from 5,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe or whatever it is, and hit the notification so you catch these live. It really helps me. So I appreciate, I really appreciate you guys doing that. So thank you in advance. And everyone on the replay, thank you as well. Let's get that 5,000 subscribers. I want to change the world. I'd love that. Once you make this shift, there's a few things that have got to happen. Even though you're creating something you love and you feel good now, it does not mean that tomorrow your manifestation is in physical form. See, the seed is the forest. The seed is the forest, okay? And so you look at the seed, you break it open, there's nothing there. The seed is the forest. Now, just because the seed is the forest, it has all the invisible instructions to be the forest. It doesn't mean you put it in the ground tomorrow and all of a sudden there's a forest, right? There is a universal law that says there's a lag time. There's an action, and then the action creates reaction until the manifestation happens. And so all you've got to do, see, think about this. There is always an obvious action to take. So you get into the magnetic moment, you're there, you're feeling good, and I'm choosing to create that. That's the forest I'd like. Why? Because I'd love to. I've only got one reason, because I'd love to. There's no other reasons. I'm not convincing myself. I just want it, right? I just want it. It won't make me better, won't make me worse. I just want it. I just choose that. I just choose it. I'm just going to choose that. So I get into this place. And then I know, okay, that there's always an obvious action, okay? So I'm the seed. What's the first thing I got to do? I'm a seed. Well, I've got to, plant the seed. Then there's not an obvious action. Got to water it, got to fertilize it, right? So there's always actions to take to have the seed turn into reality. So even as you make the shift, you see, do you follow this, by the way? Even though you make the shift, even though you become the seed of a new reality, if you're creating something big, you gotta understand that there's things that have to take place in this reality for it to show up. And it does frustrate me. The first thing that frustrates me in the personal development and manifestation world is this idea that you got to fix yourself, right? It's just not true. No one who's been super successful had to fix themselves. They just were themselves in their incompleteness and created. They're different worlds. I got to fix myself versus creating. They don't belong in the same sentence. Yet some have tried to misappropriate them together. You've got to have these beliefs. I did it. You got to think this way. You got to do it. No, you don't. No, you just got to remove resistance to it. The other thing is this idea of instant manifestation. I see these idiots posting on Facebook and they go, learn how to instantly manifest. Oh, what are you talking about? Where in the world does instant manifestation happen? They go, well, lottery. And I go, yeah, okay, cool. So we can take one little thing and then try to lie to all these people instead of just realizing that it's just randomness, And so the truth is if you want to be a conscious creator, you got to learn that you got to actually take obvious action. And then there's a time delay. There's a time delay. So it's really nice to plant it, do the obvious action, and realize that there's always two actions. There's a masculine action, which is to plant the seed, fertilize the seed, water the seed. Then there's the feminine action, nurture it, look after it. There's obvious actions. So I always say to people is once you're in the magnetic moment and you're choosing to create, then there's an obvious action take. And they say, but Chris, what if I don't know the action? And it's very simple. It's very, very simple. Either one, you know what action to take, or two, you don't know what action to take. And if you don't know what action to take, well, you've just figured out the first action, which is to find out what action to take. So it's very clear to me. Then you take the action and you let it happen. And I want to share something. So I just had a humongous shift last month. We launched a product in November last year, and last month in just 30 days we did $535,000 in sales. It's a personal development product. I'm so happy to make that much in 1 month. It's such a big impact. It's substantial amount of money. If we can keep that up, it's a $7 million product per annum. Now, what's really interesting about it is last year when I launched it, and actually, sorry, it didn't kick off until November. I launched it in October. The first week, the first month was so frustrating. I remember talking to my wife. It wasn't working. We everything was cleared. It wasn't working. We're spending on ads. We're doing all these things. We got to $50,000 in the hole with this product. And I just remember looking at my wife. I said, okay, we got to have, this, what's going on? Like, is this going to actually work? And we just held the tension. And if that was about twice as much as I thought it was going to take, maybe even 3 times. I can't specifically remember. All I remember is the huge amount of tension it was creating in my body. I felt it. I was like, why? This is a lot of money. Like, is it ever going to work? Like, all these things. But lucky, I was in that tension. I planted the seeds. I was doing it. I was doing everything right. There was nothing in the way. And then pop. End of November, it just popped. And it went boom, and then boom. And then now, I'm talking to you, if you watch this on the replay, it's May right now. In April, in the middle of this humongous worldwide shift, we've just done $500,000 in sales. And to me, that's absolutely, it's absolutely proof from, but I know you can't experience this because you weren't back there back last year when it was like, is this going to happen? It's absolute proof. And guys, this is like $100 product. It's a $99 thing. It's not a big ticket thing. It's a $99 thing. And if I look back at the amount of times in that first, month to 6 weeks where it just was not working, the amount of times that the old me from years ago would have like made it all personal, said, we're not good enough, this isn't working, all this, like the old me would have put all this and made it personal. However, because I understand creation, I was just staying in the end result every day. I was choosing it. I was removing resistance. I was taking the action. And I just remember keep saying to my wife, the field is clear. The field is clear. The field is clear for this. There's nothing in the way. The field is clear. The field is clear. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I knew it. I just knew it because I was in it. And I knew that it also didn't affect me. And so it just goes. Someone said, is there a window for action to take place? Well, it really depends on the action. Hey, there's science that says whenever you're given an action to take, if you wait longer than 24 hours, you're half as likely to actually follow through. If you wait 2 days, it's down to like 10% likely that you'll follow through. And by the third day, there's very little chance that you'll follow through on the action. So in saying that, though, it does depend on what the obvious action is to take. I mean, if the obvious action is next Monday, you've got to blah, 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 blah. Well, then that's the next action. And so I want you to get this, even though you get into some sort of like creative orientation, right? And you go, I want to be here, but I'm here, right? I want to have a huge this. You got to realize you've got to just plant the seed, clear everything in the way, water the seed, fertilize it, stay in the tension. Don't let yourself don't let it become personal, Don't let it become personal. It's like you got to stay in it. You got to stay in it. You got to stay in it. As soon as you see what comes personal, what we do on recodes with our masterclass is, oh, but what if I fail? Okay, well, that's just a fear. Let's deal with the fear. Let's get that out and stay in it. But what people are judging me? Well, I'm frustrated. Why isn't it happening faster? Well, you can't make a seed turn into a tree any faster than it will. Fibonacci's law, we all know the rate that something's going to duplicate. There is a perfect rate of growth. Does this make sense? Can you guys give me a yes if you're enjoying this session today? Because it's important for me to know this is landing. And if you have shared it out, I really appreciate you. So thank you for hitting share. I do see a lot more people joining, so I really appreciate that. So today it was understanding these two worlds. There's a psychological tension that can pull you back into this fragile victim to your circumstances. I need to fix myself. I'm incomplete world. You see, and you're in that world if anything you're choosing is to resolve a way that you feel incomplete about you. Then there's a completely different way to be in the world. And this is called the creative orientation. And it's where you're completely happy with the now. In fact, you believe that the now is better than any other moment. You've entered the wizard's gate. There is no resistance and no desire. You're just here. And you're only creating for one reason, because you'd love it. No other reasons. If there's more reasons than that, you're trying to convince yourself. I just love it. I just love to have a huge audience. I just love it. No other reason. I just love it. See, we can get ourselves really caught in what's true. And it's probably a topic for another video. But sometimes we misappropriate reasons why we want to do something. And something I see a lot is we say, well, because this happened to me, that's why I should do this. And for example, and it's probably not a nice example. For example, an abuse victim. Okay, so guy comes to me, he says, "Yeah, I was abused," and I say, he says, "That's why I need to be a coach." I'm like, not really. He said, "Yep, the reason why I need to be a coach is because it's my final step in healing from the abuse. So that's why I have to be that." Now, to a lot of people, they go, "Well, Chris, that makes sense. He's had a problem, and so now because of that problem, now he's overcome it. Now he's going to help others with it." Well, imagine if that was true for all of us. Imagine if every single problem or challenge that we had meant we had to then go help others through it. Just imagine that. I just don't think it's true. I think you can have challenges, you can get over them and let them go, and then maybe you choose to create something that then helps others through it, but maybe you choose to create something else. Why would you be locked into having to do it for that reason? Why would you have to carry that identity forward with you? Does that make sense, guys? Why would that have to be the reason? Why couldn't it just be that you want to help and want to do something? Why does it have to be this reason that because it's almost like giving a reason for the abuse to have happened? It's like, let's stop trying to resolve our past, accept the now, acquiesce to the current moment, and then create. You see, I like saying the word acquiesce, by the way. I just learned it recently. I was reading Seneca, and Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, and he keeps saying acquiesce, which basically means accept the current reality, and I just love it. Don't know how to spell it, but love it. So it's just true. It's fine. It's just true. Someone might try to type it in. You probably do a better job than me. Acquiesce. It feels good. So guys, I hope this was a really good session. I appreciate you all being here with me. Becoming a conscious creator using the superconscious, it takes you taking yourself on, but not in a way that you need to fix yourself, in a way that you need to let go of your old orientation. See, the world we grew up in, the orientation that we've always had has been that we must fix, we must improve, that we must do something to be different. The truth is, you being different, you changing, you healing has nothing to do with what you can create, and the misguided notion of this is quite frankly, it hurts a lot of people. It hurts a lot of people. It's dangerous, this idea that we must fix ourselves. See, I want you to know there's no right way that you must feel in order to have lots of money. There's no right way you must feel to have a relationship or be or think. You don't need to have a certain diet or certain pills or do a certain thing. You just don't. And it's, I know a lot of you go, "Yeah, Chris, we've heard this from you," but there's a lot of people here that need to hear it for the first time. Is you're not broken. You don't need fixing. There's no reason why you can't have everything that you want being exactly the way that you are. No reason. And you can just look to people who have what you want, and what will you see? Everyone's different. Some people who have money are confident. Some people have money are shy. Some people have money are fat. Some people have money are healthy. Some people have money are in abundance. Some people have money are in scarcity. Same with love. Same with everything. So it's not about having to change yourself or download some codes. It's about accepting that you're good, that you've had a past. I've had a past. We've all had a past. And that we can simply choose to have it all now, overcome everything. And right now, we get to overcome some challenge. And we are literally in emotional and spiritual weight training at the moment. We're literally in, it's funny to say, resistance training. We are. There is a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of fear. There's fear from both sides of the fence, right? Oh my God, this virus is going to kill us. Oh my God, they've made a virus up, right? Both sitting in fear, Oh my God, we all need to have vaccines. Oh my God, vaccines are the worst thing in history. Fear on both sides. Do you see that? Now, there's always truth behind it, but it's coming from fear. It's coming from fear. And right now we get to rise above it and we get to step into a bigger reality. I want to finish by letting you know something. It's very important. Before I share this, though, can you guys make sure, if you haven't shared this video out, please hit share. And I'm going to leave a link for those of you who haven't had a session with us yet to come and learn how to consciously create and let go of all the resistance. We got a huge discount running at the moment. So love, 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 love to have you in there. I want to talk to you about the power that small groups can have. You see, the power of the minority. This is very important because we're here to change the world. We're here to come together, create a new future. We don't need to try to fix the current reality. It's unfixable. We need to create a new reality. So if you're in the United States and you go get a soft drink, soda, you go get most drinks from, just a cold drink, non-alcoholic, you will notice that nearly all drinks are kosher. You probably haven't noticed this before, but you will notice that they nearly all are. And you might think, well, that's kind of strange. Why would all these soft drink companies need to have kosher drinks? Why would all these soda companies need to have kosher drinks? That's interesting. I wonder why. Well, here's why. There's a very, 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 very small amount of people that will only drink kosher drinks. That's it. Very small amounts, like 0.03% of the United States population. So why would all the drinks be kosher if only 0.03% need it? That's a bit strange. Well, this is about how a minority can actually rule the majority, and it's very important for the world we're creating. Here's why. The cost for a company to go and create a whole nother range of all of their drinks just to be kosher is extreme. So what do? They realize most of us don't care, but a very small percentage really care. So let's just make them all kosher. This is called the law of the minority. It happens everywhere. In fact, do you realize the reason why we have more automatic vehicles, not stick? The reason why we have automatic is people who can only drive automatic can't drive stick, but everyone who can drive stick can drive automatic. So what happens is car companies started to realize that if someone's purchasing at a house and there's 3 people that can drive stick and only 1 person can drive automatic, well, that family is going to get an automatic every time. So why do you see nearly all cars now are all automatic? The law of the minority. The law of the minority. And so here's how it works. It only works if the minority 100% will not do the action the majority are happy to. Type in yes if you get it. They must not. The automatic person cannot drive stick. The kosher person will not buy the drink unless it's kosher. That's it. So that's the first thing. The second thing that must happen is out of the majority, most of them, most of the majority needs to be, See, it doesn't work with kosher meats, you see, because the majority aren't like, yeah, I have kosher meats. They're like, no, I want the meat the way I want it. Does that make sense? So it doesn't work there. It works in drinks, you see. Kosher meats, non-kosher meats. So why is this relevant to where we're at right now? Don't underestimate the minority. You might think that your world views the minority. You don't need to convince others. You don't need to fight others. The minority can win. And I just want you to take that into your worldview as you move forward today, because we've got to create a new future. We don't need that many people to realize that we got to be conscious creators. We don't need that many. We just need to be unwilling to accept anything else. We don't need to convince the unconvinceables. We don't need to convince the ones that are going to go and buy a stick shift car. We don't need to convince them. We just need to convince the majority that go, vaccine, no vaccine. We just got to stay there. They're going to join the ones that will not move. Power of the minority. So guys, today, step into conscious creation. If you haven't had a recode yet, huge discounts available. You need to come have one. I'm going to drop a link. We've also released a new program called Emotional Mastery, where we have 5 specific recodes around removing fear of failure, rejection, anxiety, overwhelm, triggered emotions, and allowing yourself to step into becoming this true conscious creator. So there's a new training up here on YouTube. Guys, I want you all to be super conscious creators. Understand these laws, understand these principles. Even if you're happy with the now, you've overcome your past, and you're in true choice, there's always an action to take. There's always an action to take. And all you got to do is take that action, acquiesce to the current reality, take the action, and know in your heart there's nothing in your field. There's nothing in your field stopping that. There's no resistance. If there's no resistance and you're taking the obvious action, it will manifest. And you just stay in it. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer if it's a really big tree to see the first sapling. Sometimes you gotta wait, but if you're creating something big, it's worth it. Don't ever allow it to be personal. Don't ever allow yourself to knock yourself out of the end result. I love you all. Please subscribe to this channel. Please share it with your friends. I'm hoping to knock off this channel and go, yes, I'm at 5,000 subscribers. I was at 4,985 when I jumped on. So if just 15 people hit that subscribe button, that's going to feel really, 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 really good. Have a great day. Be magnetic, and I'll talk to you soon.